the card for 303 is still looking hot though. You know, it doesn't really.
Yeah.
It hasn't. It's lost the McGregor touch, but it still has a lot of good fights coming on. So, Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira said they both fight for the light heavyweight title, and that's going to be a good rematch. Did you watch the first
Yeah,
fight?
I watched the first one, and this one's interesting. I'm surprised Pereira took it. Apparently, you know, he was like in Australia or something like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he has a few injuries and stuff, but he just thought, fuck it. But apparently, a year he took it straight away, and he's been ready and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think he wants that one back bad. And I think if he's ever going to get it, it's this fight.
He was giving Pereira trouble up until the finish.
I think this one could be trouble for Pereira.
I see the thing about Pereira though, is
he's so powerful.
He just has that touch that he can just
man.
with Yuri that time. Yeah. Yuri was kind of the calf kicks were definitely having an effect, but I think Yuri was giving him a lot of trouble by and just backed him up against the fence, got a bit excited, and Alex Pereira said, "Bob is your uncle, Mary's your aunt," and put him fucking out.
Yeah, with Pereira, he's like Deontay Wilder of the MMA world. Like, no one even knows how good he really is because he'll just smash you. Like, you could bait him for 5 rounds, doesn't matter. If he catches you once, good night, Irene. Thanks for coming.
That Israel Adesanya fight, the first time in UFC, when he was like losing 3-1 on the scorecards and came out in the 5th round and just bang.
That's what I'm saying. Off topic again, I'm murder for it, but the Israel Adesanya celebration when he beat Pereira that time is my favourite UFC celebration of all time. Oh, shot 3 into him. Oh, man. And I love Izzy, I love Pereira, but that celebration was the best thing ever.
And he went over to his young fella then and done
that was class as well.
Stiff.
And you know what? The young fella's a cheeky fucker. Like, he deserved that one. I don't give a fuck what age you are. He did, because you know what? Fuck, it might be I'd be just as petty.
Well, he didn't to him, so when things.
You know what? Actually, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. I know, look, whatever floats your boat. Like, if young fella's being mean to you.
A child and a grown man. Poor fella's dad just got knocked out. That probably was another thing, but that probably was a bad idea.
Well, the young fella did it to him, so
fuck
we'll leave Izzy off with this one. The co-main event is Brian Ortega against that Diego Lopez, that Brazilian lad trained out of Mexico, who's an absolute animal.
Yeah, he's unreal. You see the fellow with the hair?
Yeah, the comb over kind of.
Him and Callum were actually meant to spar before.
Yeah.
He wanted to spar Callum before, I think, in the PI. I don't think it happened.
Would have been interesting.
I think Callum was gonna, but I don't think it happened. But yeah, that's a good fight. Ortega is a beast, obviously.
Yeah, and Ortega's really good jits, and your man Diego Lopez has shown.
And he's like a
really
prospect. He's really like coming up.
Prospect, yeah. Who did Ortega come back and have a win against there in his last fight? He had a really good win. Was it Yair Rodriguez? I think it was Yair Rodriguez by fucking.
I think it might have been. I feel like I watched that and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, and I really thought that Yair Rodriguez was gonna get one over.
Yeah. It was kind of the start of like Ortega's skate, but then he pulled it back.
Exactly.
People were kind of
and that was his first fight back in a while.
People were kind of feeling like he was getting to the tail end of the career, and then bang.
I think a big fight on UFC 303, a big fight. Ian Garry and Michael Venom Page.
I'm most excited for this. Like, I haven't been this excited for a fight in a long time.
Boys.
I love MVP. I met MVP actually in Silver Springs.
In Silver Springs? How was he doing? He was at a kickboxing world championship.
No, there was like a, what the fuck was it called? There was an MMA event in Silver Springs years ago. I went to it with my brother. I met MVP. Who's your man? The big, huge ex-UFC heavyweight champ. Oh, fuck.
Nogueira?
No, he's this fella. You're not going to get him. Oh, fuck. Him anyway, met
You're giving us 0 clues here, like.
Yeah, I'm not.
Give us a clue.
Yeah, I can't.
Is he American?
I think he is American.
And he was heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
Randy Couture, old school.
No. Less old school.
Less old school.
Was he champ? I think he was.
Tim Sylvia?
No.
Was he white?
White.
That's just.
Boy, he's got a big fight.
Definitely heavyweight, no, not light heavyweight.
He was heavyweight, alright. Sure. Was he American though? I think he was, boy. Boys, it's so annoying because he's known, like.
Well, he's not known to fucking you anyway.
Boys, and I literally know his name. I met him.
You can look it up there, Rob. UFC. So anyway, what were you doing there? You were up at this.
It was like an MMA fest like con, MMA con thing. Met MVP, massive hands.
Yeah.
Really big hands.
That's a good
similar
takeaway.
height to me.
But so when you shook his hand, you felt intimidated.
Yeah, and he had that aura, you know, like of kind of a star almost. And he wasn't like one of the biggest. Frank Mir
Frank Mir.
Is he American?
Yeah, he's American.
UFC heavyweight.
UFC
was he
heavyweight,
champion?
boy. I think he was, yeah.
He was, yeah.
For,
Frank Mir,
I think,
fucking hell, I knew
I
it
think
was
Brock beat him for the title.
I knew it was going to come to me. Yeah, Frank Mir was there. MVP was there. There was a load of actually big names, to be fair, there in Silver Springs,
He
randomly.
won his belt on UFC 48.
Whoa, boys. Yeah,
but
that's old school.
yeah, I met MVP, but I've been watching MVP for a long time. I am obsessed with his style, the way he fights.
Yeah, he has very
So exciting.
very slick in and out. I feel very fortunate in the time that I was in the UK. I got to coach Ian Gary twice when he was over for a UFC fight pass thing. He was doing some, the kind of like fight companion kind of stuff. He was doing one of them with his now missus Layla.
Yeah.
And while he was there, he got onto me through Darren Stewart to do a few sessions. So I trained him twice. And then with Darren Stewart, I was always going down to shoe fighters. So like I've watched MVP spar, plenty times. And it's going to be a very interesting fight.
So you had to one up my story basically and say,
I was listening to there. I was like, I wait till he finishes.
He was actually he was teeing me up for it. And well, I actually trained him. So there's me.
Well, I've never trained MVP, but
what was it like watching him spar and stuff? Was he just as like
very good by and like
freaky
they were
inside the ring?
like shoe fighters. Shoe fighters is a fucking very very good gym in there. When you go into the sparring days, like the wild card kind of sparrings you were talking about, it was very like no cameras come in and it was just hard sparring, man. The boys be like, you come in, if you came in when the sparring was already after starting, some days there'd be lads sitting all over the gaff, ice packs on the arms, ice packs on the knee. And MVP, he was just, like he is when he's fighting, but he's very good distance management, very evasive, striking. Also though, like a really good wrestler, like over the years obviously of being in MMA and training it, really good takedown defense when he goes to the ground, good at getting back up. So Ian Gary, I think Ian Gary's style has been more striking since he's been in the UFC, but he does have good caliber jiu-jitsu as well. Like when he was in Cage Warriors, he had a few submission wins. When I was training Ian that time, it was before he was fighting like a Swedish guy who just came out of the UFC. So he had 3 fights in the UFC, the Swedish guy, and Ian was fighting him on Cage Warriors. And it was a few weeks after I was training him. So when we were training, I was just like, doing what you want to work on, whatever. So he was saying he's working on this kind of setup for a head kick. So he went through with me and it was basically like double jab, step through to southpaw, because he said when your man circles to the left, he changes stance and he kind of drops his guard and he gets kind of lazy when he circles to the right. So we were working on that anyway, drilling it, doing other bits and pieces. So about 2 or 3 weeks later, he was fighting. I watched the fight.
Bang.
Double jab, cross, step in, head kick, KO'd your man.
What?
Swear to God.
Shane O'Neill.
Well, I'd like to say I told him to do it, but he was the one who said to me, this is what I'm going to do. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. But I thought it was, that was before he became Ian Gary. He wasn't Cage Warriors champion at the time. But he was very, very good at, like, that's what I think his biggest strength is. Like, he's good at what's it called, like, studying his opponents.
You can tell he's obsessed.
Yeah, and he's like, that was fucking, that's like McGregor calling the elder thing. That's what it was like to me. I was like, I voiced note him afterwards. I was like, I can't believe you just done that by just done exactly what you told me you were going to do. But MVP is so experienced now in MMA. He's been around a lot longer. He said, and I do think there's a little element of this as well with Ian Gary, that MVP has been a name since Ian Gary first started, or before Ian Gary started the sport. I also do wonder, as much as Ian Gary is quite strong in the mind, how much of a toll all the shit's been taken on him. Since that's been
he's been through a lot of shit, man, and I do feel for him in a way, because
disgusting,
that's hard.
A lot of it is disgusting. Like, I don't think, look, you could say he was asking for it because he was the Jeff Neal t-shirt thing, and when he talked about
that is a bit of pokey, like it is, but like it's not bad shit. Like, I don't think it justifies fucking what Strickland did, and then but again, Strickland then went and done exactly what he claims Gary does. So like, people are saying Ian Gary was poking fun at Jeff Neal for being arrested. He was poking fun at what's his name, the guy he fucking talked about slapping his kids. Boys, we're drawing some blanks tonight. We need to have some coffee before the podcast or something. I can't do it on a Monday no more, but after a night shift my head is fried. I'm like, Jeff Neal, your man begins with an N or something.
Neil Magny.
Neil Magny.
You got the first letter on you. Anyway,
it's when he said about the stuff was in there.
Yeah, but I didn't even get a letter. So, but when he was talking about that, and then Strickland went and done the video about his missus, about Layla, and then Strickland went on Theo Vaughn crying, saying people shouldn't be talking about family and all that.
I think there's a lot of shit wrong with Strickland, boy, because He goes back. He goes back on himself like a yo-yo. He says one thing and then does another.
Yeah, he's tapped, though, to be fair.
He's actually tapped.
But he did start an absolute internet bombardment of Ian Gary, like just the thing.
And Colby though didn't help.
Colby was asking. Colby just wanted. He'd do anything. So when they were doing the press conference, he was delighted to have some fucking low hanging fruit, because that's all he is. By just a low hanging fruit scumbag. What he done to Leon Edwards, by, I thought that was disgusting. That's what I mean as well.
And that went to the decision, didn't it?
That fight went to decision, yeah.
And I was so angry that Leon didn't just
didn't knock him out. Yeah, but I think Leon needed to keep his cool, which was good, because that's what Colby wanted.
But you never see Leon. You see, when he said it, he was like, he was up, and I was like, oh, that shit hurts.
But that's where I feel again, like you could say, like, oh, it's the fight business, it sells fights, whatever. But I do think, man, there's a stage where you're like, boy, there's going to be young fellas watching that thinking, like, that's acceptable shit. Now. Like, what the
yeah, that was bad shit, alright.
Very bad. But it sells fights, you could argue that it makes fellas look like cunts, which I think Colby,
there's a bit of both, probably.
Colby is a CUNT by a massive one. Like, I don't think he's ever said anything that I thought was actually interesting.
But what's insane is I've seen so many things of people behind the scenes on different interviews saying that he's a proper nice fella, which I find, like, so hard to believe. And if that is true, like, how can he play the character so well and, like, for so long?
When you know the story,
but apparently, like, he's a proper nice fella, like. But the whole him and Jorge thing as well, and they used to be roommates and John Joe, but, like, they all hate him now.
But you know the story, because he was meant to get released by the UFC. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they told him, like, even if you win or lose this fight, you're gone. And he went to Brazil and called them all scumbags, and then, like, he just got a load of press, and then boom. But
yeah,
like, so maybe he's the monster that the UFC made.
But what does that tell you, though? Tell you that he's a boring fighter and he couldn't fucking just get famous through his fighting skills, like, so he had to start.
The UFC created a fucking
do you
monster.
know, he's like a cheap Chael Sonnen. That's what he's like.
But Chael Sonnen was more witty too.
Very witty. Chael Sonnen he was the original, man. He was absolutely. And hilarious.
I think you've Chael Sonnen here, you've Colby Covington here, and you just have McGregor there in his peak, and he was perfect.
He was.
He had the wit. With the little bit of scumbagginess.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
Scumbagginess. I never heard that term.
Perfect. But now it's fucking.
Yeah. But looking forward to the UFC 303 card nonetheless. Looking forward to one Friday night 68. Massive. I love that combat sports is just growing and growing and growing. Obviously been involved in it from so young. Always, especially being, Thai boxing from a young age, I always fucking knew that Thai boxing was some stage going to make it a bit bigger than it had been when we were growing up. And I'm delighted to see people like Liam Harrison getting what they deserve, getting some money. There's a lot of other fighters as well in the UK. Jonathan Haggerty, Liam Nolan, my old training partner. They're getting some good headway now, and some good, incentive financially to continue their careers. There's a lot of good Irish fighters too coming through, man. Craig Coakley's fight just got announced on the 3rd of August, so his second fight. He's Dublin, DCA. The lads up in DCA. So Craig is, honestly, man, so entertaining to watch, like, really, and his style is so well suited to one championship. I think, his first fight in one, it was coming off a long layoff. He hadn't fought in a while. He was thrown in against Mansua Black in his first fight, which I thought was a very hard fight to get in your first one. And then, for whatever reason, it just didn't go his way. He didn't get going first round, but I think he's going to show the real Craig Coakley now in this fight on the 3rd of August. So few weeks away for that one, but just delighted to see so many sick cards in UFC and one championship coming up.
So many Irish boys as well.
Yeah, definitely look forward to Craig's next one. Yes, we'll wrap it up there, lads.